emphasizes the objectness of the creation. It is man-made in existence, but is refined in essence. It emphasizes the enjoyment of my unique and personalized creation without hindering the viewer's capability to do so as well. As an artist, I believe that art articulates what can be perceived as the void between the spirit and our ordinary lives. Synergy revealed, no doubt, is an attempt to manifest this void. We might think of the collages as the rational part of our lives, the controlled, the tedious, the precise juxtaposition, and the paint as a form of spirit. When these two facets act together, the works take on a life of their own. For all that an image contains about its represented object, there are multitudes of variation that could be extracted, appropriated, flipped, ripped, twisted, and represented in a different manner, expressed in a different light. The meaning of my work is also determined by my intention and the content. The extractions content contains and suggests so much information about their source, but the context of the source doesn't matter. The arrangement and juxtaposition of this content, when perceived through the paint, suggests so much about perceptual mechanics and rules of optics and visual dominance and other terms that classify collage and action art. But these works mean nothing if they don't express the deeper connection of an artist to his art. I extend the parameter of what art is to encompass not only the process and the product, but a transmission of feeling that arises in the attempt to connect the process and product and beauty with the truth. Thank you.
Awesome.
Wow. I had said a lot, but I'm going to open it up to some Q&A if anyone has any questions. I'll try my best to answer them.
How do you decide when to go into like a third dimension with your work? Like some of the images really they just come right off the canvas, like this one over here and that one, the CD over there.
Are you talking about giving it like the third dimension, like actually giving it some like depth? Mm-hmm. I've always been into assemblage sculpture. I think I use the plastic bags and the CDs and the texture of sand as the same way that I use the paint. It just contributes to my expression. It gives the pieces depth, and it also just presents a work that juxtaposes different mediums. This is a plastic garbage bag. If you didn't know that beforehand, I mean, you might not be able to tell, but just by looking at it. The CD over there, that was a piece that I made for my girlfriend Rosie, and she likes music, so I just kind of threw like a CD in there. And the green stuff and black stuff, that's also plastic bags. So it's really, I'm into experimentation in some sense with art. I don't want to lose too much control, but I also like to introduce different elements other than the collage and the paint themselves.
You have a lot of work for one of these things.
Sure.
And so I'm wondering, how much time do you spend doing these? How much, roughly, I mean, on one of them and on all of them? How long have you been working on this?
Oh, man. Well, like I said, the project started last January while I was in London, and I've been doing it ever since. I try my best to work on a piece every day.
That's what I was guessing.
Every day. Even if it just means cutting up some pieces or just arranging, envisioning what I want to do. But I work on these pieces actually right in my room in New Dorm. I paint in the shower.
Easy to clean up.
Easy to clean up, yeah. My roommate's not too happy. Anybody else?
You have, I remember when I first met you, you were doing a lot of spoken word.
Sure.
I'm wondering if you're still doing that.
Yeah, of course. I just took poetry with Dr. Santilli this semester, and that was great. Like I said, I like to believe that my work is akin to poetry or music. So even if I'm not expressing it with words, the images are doing the same, it's just in a different form. But yeah, I'm always right. I got my journals that I run too and stuff.
I'm wondering, because I remember what you did in peace building class.
Yeah, it's right there.
Yes, and I'm wondering how this social consciousness has influenced your art, or how would you like your art to influence or advance the cause of social consciousness?
Well, in one respect, my work is resourceful. I use recycled magazines. I use recycled paper. So I think that in one respect, letting people know that you can make beautiful things without having to pay for all these fine materials, in one respect. And two, I like to call myself a modernist revival because I like to express the notion of art for art's sake, not denying that art doesn't have a social purpose, but the primary objective of these pieces is just to give people something nice to look at. I'd like to share beauty with other people. If beauty can save the world. So, and the process is also therapeutic. I don't know if you guys have known, but there are 3 pieces in here that I didn't do. There are pieces that I showed Greg and Rosie how to do, and they're right here. Which just shows that the process the theory is applicable. It's not just me doing it. A lot of people can do it. This is Greg Linder's over here. And that one and this one are Rosie's.
It was, what first impressed me when you gave me all your paperwork was how you were really compelled to teach, to use art as a kind of an educational, a psychological healing process
Sure.
for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And you thought that your method could really help make art accessible to the general public.
Absolutely. Considering, like I said, using materials that everyone can have access to. I mean, magazines, you go out and buy a canvas and you buy a couple cheap paints. The process is very therapeutic in 2 ways, because the collage, as controlled and tedious as it is, reflects aspects, or I like to think reflects aspects of your personality. So the images that Greg chooses to extract or the ones that I choose to extract are completely different. So the collage gives people that ability to create mosaic-like, reflecting their lights, this type of woman, this type of figure, this type of landscape. And then, most importantly, just throwing paint in your hand and then letting it go. Having absolutely no control. It's all spontaneous, it's all ephemeral. And I think it's a sense of relief, not only in the final product that they've created, but the process. The fact that they've worked so hard on a collage and they're not ruining it, they're just enhancing it by throwing paint on it, and they're giving themselves a sense of relief and in creation, something that they never thought they might have done before. It relies really on the unexpected. When you go through magazines and you're just flipping through pages, you're kind of like, oh, that one, I can use that one. And you rip it out, violently, cut it up, paste it. The process continues. And then you get to ruin it, throw paint on it.
Finishing construction.
Yeah. But I do believe that art, like I said, can communicate the void between spirit and our ordinary lives. And I don't think art, not that it's devalued in society because it's taken on so many different high and low forms, and we have all these art institutions and whatnot, but you know, it really teaches you about yourself. It expresses a lot of self-knowledge, and it also, the result is something that a lot of people can enjoy. I asked Greg the last time he actually did something creative, and he really couldn't remember. And I was like, here, try this. And now he's made like 5 or 6 more. You can't stop making.
How much of this process of this spontaneity in creation is apparent and evident in your creation of the collage when you put the pictures together? For example, when you look at that, it seems to me that there is a set of there's a thought process behind the organization of those images. And then that thought process is destroyed
Right. The collage is absolutely done with forethought and precise juxtaposition because you're trying to, I call it an idiosyncratic landscape. You're trying to connect lines or balance colors. Like I said, it has nothing to do with representation. It's just the abstractions. You're trying to create something that looks well balanced in your mind's eye. And that is just completely tedious and laboring, and then you just throw paint on it, and it's just the complete opposite. And somehow, the combination of the two results in the synergy. It's not only the paint and the collage; it's the transmission of feeling.
Wow, that's powerful.
What is synergy?
What is this? Synergy? Synergy is when a synergetic relationship is something where the two facets alone cannot suffice for the awesomeness that's created by the two of them working together. So one facet cannot exist entirely on its own. It's the working of two independent elements coming together to create a result that's more awesome than just two.
Okay, now you repeat that.
Greater than the sum of its parts.
Yeah, holism. Absolutely.
Wow. This is incredible.
Awesome.
And not just because I'm his dad.
Says the proud father.
Great job.
If anyone doesn't have any more questions, you can talk to me afterwards. There's also a comment box if you just think of something and you write your contact information down. And if you're interested in a piece or a future piece, you just talk to me, let me know, write a comment, question, try my best to get back to you. Yes. Great. Awesome.
Great job, Ange.